Okay. Is it here? Is it? Okay. Yes, on sound now. No, no worry, just take. You know, I don't talk. I tell you that guy, this don't be taken off. The thing makes me become a very good guy. But another one day when everyone consider if it functions or whatever, I'm like, I don't feel the gear that can again. When I don't fix the problem. No. Okay. Then it's if you put on the number. Let me pick this call. Yeah, no, bro.
The pressures of life come to weigh me down, but I'm not moved by what I see. They come and they go, but I stand strong by His word that lives in me. I am stronger, I am wiser by His Spirit, by His word. Yeah. I'm moving on to greater heights by His Spirit. I'm marching on to greater heights by His Spirit, by His word. Oh yeah, by His word. Oh yeah. Seasons come and seasons go. Whatever it is, I got victory. I'm a champion, I'm a winner by His Spirit that lives in me. For with me, all things are possible by His Spirit, by His word. Oh, I'm moving on to greater heights by His Spirit. Now I'm marching on to greater heights by His Spirit, by His word. Oh yeah, by His word. Oh yeah. Spirit, and I am marching on the great heights by His Spirit. Come on, say, I'm moving on to great heights by His Spirit. I'm marching on to great heights by His Spirit. Oh, I'm moving on to great heights by His Spirit. Oh, I'm moving on to great heights by His Spirit, by His word. Oh yeah, by His word.
We're starting now.
Oh yeah, I'm a winner. I'm a champion. Oh yeah, I'm a victor. Every day, every night, everywhere. By His word. Oh yeah. Woo. Yeah, 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 yeah. The pressures of life come to weigh me down, but I'm not moved
Yeah, I brought the camera to you.
by
Are you
what I
ready? Okay,
see.
start now.
They come and they go, but I stand strong by His word that lives in me.
Asia, I think you can start now.
I can start now? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Journey to the White House. The power of we the people. What does this title even mean? It means that I have a vision of what we the people must mean in order for me to fight forward in the movement. I must believe deep in my heart that there is undeniable power in we the people. I do. And that belief is centered around my innate sense that 1 + 1 = 2, and nothing can change that. Just as I believe that nothing can take away the power of the united voices of we the people. It means that I believe that when people speak with the authority that they own, mountains move. But before I move further into my definition of we the people, allow me to share what our forefathers meant by the phrase when they wrote this. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, the most powerful document in all of America is the Constitution, which begins with "We the people of the United States." Our forefathers believed that we the people is the authority. And this is what I am hoping that America believes today about we the people. We the people is why I believe passionately in the movement. What do I, Asia Storm, a lone soul in the midst of the people, believe about we the people? I believe that we the people is one of the most powerful phrases ever to be written, and that it expands past the borders of the United States through all of the human race. When we the people speak, change occurs. I believe that there is only equality in we the people. And I
The pressures of life come to weigh me down, but I'm not moved by what I see. They come and they go, but I stand strong by His word that lives in me. I am stronger, I am wiser by His Spirit, by His word, yeah. I'm moving on to greater heights by His.
and this equality cannot be given nor can it be taken away. We the people is all of us or none. We the people is singular by the unlimited force of all. I believe that we the people can do anything, which means that I believe nothing will be impossible for us. That brings us to the most exciting part of this evening as we introduce our illustrious panelists and my co-host, Ma Carlette Boyd, who will first pray us into the show, and then I will break the ice tonight with the rest of our panelists answering the question, the icebreaker question. Ma Carlette, will you pray us into the show, please?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Father God, in Jesus' name, we just thank you for this time that you've allowed us to gather together for this show, Lord. Your word says to enter your gates with thanksgiving, into your courts with praise. So we praise you. We thank you for this opportunity once again. Praise you for God of love, passion, and hope and peace. It's the thief that comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but you came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. So we thank you for that. We thank you that your joy is our strength tonight, and you give us power over the enemy and anointed to speak forth what you would have us to, in order to ignite the hearts of men and women all over to be moved with compassion for their neighbors, not just next door, but where they are. Thank you for Psalm 18 that says, you hear the cry of the oppressed and the orphans, and you will judge them so that they won't have to be done by terror. We thank you for that. We thank you for your word. We thank you for your strength. We thank you for everything that you do for us. And we thank you for your Holy Spirit and ask that He rest, rule, and abide with us now as we enter into this program, God. Their hearts may be moved to love and action. In Jesus' name.
All right. Again, good evening, lovely ladies. And Mark Hurlette, would you like to try the icebreaker question? Um, if so, how do you define we the people as you relate the phrase to the movement?
Yes. I would define we the people as humanists who are committed and convicted to concernings that are going on. It means that there is a unit, they're gathering people, nations all covered and together for once in harmony in order that these things, the mass killings that we see that has tried to be hidden from the world can now be, the light can be shined on it. So put something into place to cause it.
All right. Okay. All right. And starting our evening, why don't we, uh, Dorothy, would you like to answer that icebreaker question? In relationship to the movement, how do you define we the people?
Thank you, Mama Asia. I'm glad to be on your platform again. I will define we the people as a force, a willpower to bring change. We the people who see that the leaders are not doing what they are not serving the people's interests, so the people bring it up to their attention, either through petitioning, through knocking doors, through calls. They can make phone calls, but the Storm Broadcasting Network is a movement that we have a purpose. So the power of the people definitely has a purpose. What do you intend to achieve? How organized are you? Because some of the people's power are spontaneous, but we are organized and we have a goal to end mass killings, to end atrocities, to end crimes, because it looks like the leaders, they are not doing what they are supposed to do. So mass people's power is very effective. That is the only or the other alternative.
How do you
Mama Asia.
find, say hello to our guest, if you will, and please tell us, how do you define we the people in relationship to the movement?
Is that for me?
My patience, I think.
Well,
My patient.
thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Maisha. Greetings, ladies. Greetings, everyone watching us this evening. We the people simply means power to the people. That's the easiest definition I have for we the people. When a body, which is more powerful than an individual, exudes change, then it has more relevance than a single person or a single voice. And Maisha, there's one thing that you mentioned a few weeks back. You mentioned about the roar of a movement. the roar of a lion through we the people being stronger than the whisper of an individual. So as far as this movement is concerned, it's really power by the people, for the people, to the people. And that's how I see the meaning of we the people. Thank you so much.
So much, my patience, yes. And Ma Emma, and will you say hello to our viewers, and will you answer that icebreaker? How do you define we the people in relationship to the movement?
Thank you very much, Maisha, for having me again tonight. I want to greet everybody. I want to greet my people, Amazonians, and the rest of everybody who's watching us. I say you're welcome to the program, and we hope that the 1 hour or so we spend with you, you will have as much fun as we plan to. Yes, we the people. I see we the people, I am glad you mentioned the Constitution of the United States of America, which starts with we the people. And to me, it shows that it is all inclusive. When you say we the people, it means that everyone included, no one is left behind. In my language, when you before you address a group of people, you use the word wonyamwe, which means that it's a call to action. You are calling everybody. It's not, you are not saying some people or this group of people. You are saying everybody. And to me, as I say, we the people, to me, is a call to action. As the good Lord is the great I am, his people are we, the great we. That is going to be my definition for we the people. Everybody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Uh, okay, we are going to move right into the show. And Ma Carlette, will you grace us with your beautiful, gentle spirit and ask us our questions to guide us through the show tonight, please?
Yes. Asia, what is the power of a united people from a biblical perspective? Does the people for a just causes apply in 2022?
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for this question. It's so good for us to get in touch with who we are. The most poignant and convincing scripture in the Bible for me is the one that tells me without a doubt that a united people can do anything they set out to do. And that verse is verse 6 of Genesis 1 through 11, where God sees that the people have made an ungodly plan to build a city to make a name for themselves. These people had evil intentions. So in verse 6, we read, the Lord said, and I quote, if as one people speak in the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. End quote. I see this scripture as proof perfect that if we come together as one people, speak in the same language and a united voice, and I don't mean dialect, language, purpose, to bring an end to mass killings throughout the world, then this too will not be impossible for us. The odd thing is, as I began to work in this movement, is that people tend to not believe. And in their unbelief, they tend to strike against the beliefs of another. This makes uniting the voices of the people an uphill climb. But climbing uphill or coasting downhill with this petition and this movement, we will not cease. Because as God shows us in Genesis 11:6, nothing is impossible for the united voices of the people to achieve. So uphill we climb if we must. Thank you, Marcolette and ladies. Marcolette, are we frozen? Can Marcolette hear us?
Okay, Maisha, thank you for telling us that the United Voice people can and will make the movement possible. My Dorothy, why is
Yes,
so
ma'am.
critical that the lead I'm sorry, why is it so critical that of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, Dr. Samuel Isako, meet President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris?
Thank you. I think it is very, very critical because there is no way for him to solve this problem without knowing the truth. It is important for the person who can tell him the truth to meet him and tell him the truth because he does not know the truth. President Biden is a good man. I read his speech to the AU. I saw their policy towards Africa. The world will be a beautiful place if President Biden and Kamala Harris can only know the truth. Why I'm saying that it is important for Dr. Sako to meet him and tell our story, it is because the infiltration, La Republique, they sell the false narrative so that before whatever agency they are depending on their reports is not true. Diplomatic envoys, they were, I think 2019, they go to Cameroon, they end in Yaoundé, they don't even go to the war zone, so they don't even know the facts, they don't know the realities. Red Cross is seen in Yaoundé, they are not in Amazonia, so they don't know the realities. And since France, the media is under France control, and there is no way the truth, the raw truth, can get to President Biden. Let me just, I hope that this video will get to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, because I really want to put this in a simple, I want to give them a picture of what this really is. And I hope that it will help some people who don't understand, who don't yet know why there is war. President Biden, Kamala Harris, our vice president. I just want you people to understand that the situation in southern Cameroon, aka Amazonia, is like your daughter that you've sent to school. You've educated her. She came out of school. She bought her house. She bought her car. She has her savings account. And then she meets this gentleman that he thinks that is a good person. She engages to the guy. Not long into the relationship, the guy started beating her, took her car, destroyed her car, went into her, convinced her to join a bank account. When she joined the bank account, the guy used up all the money. And then when she wants to ask, she is beaten. And she comes to you, say, Mom, I did not know that this is how he is. The rage in his eyes when I ask something simple, Mom, I think I will die. He will kill me. He will kill me. This is the same thing with Amazonia and La République du Cameroon. You as a mother, you as a father, what will you do if your daughter her status has just dropped? You cannot even recognize your daughter. Everything that she worked for, gone. her morale very low, what will you do as the parent of that daughter? This is the picture that I want you to have in mind. So if anybody comes to you and say that, oh, the problem in Ambazonia, we don't know who to talk to, or we are looking for moderates, it is a lie. Because Dr. Sako is a legitimate leader of the interim government. In 1961, an error was made in the United Nations. President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, America voted for our independence. America voted. So there is it does not even make sense that we are where we are today. It doesn't make sense. The war is senseless. Unprovoked aggression, just because we are asking to maintain our Anglo-Saxon culture. Then they just declared war for 60 years today. Even President Biya himself said it in France, that we tried to assimilate these people, but we failed. Doesn't it make sense that the next step would have been a peace mediation negotiation? Why did they choose to annihilate, to exterminate a people? People who are hardworking, who are kind, loving, took La République du Cameroon as brothers, opened up to them, but they decided to rape us in every aspect and want to kill us, to take over the land that is not theirs, ours. President Biden, please, when I watched your video when you were a senator talking about the apartheid, you were so furious with the Secretary General. I bet you, if you know the raw truth of what is going on in Ambazonia, you'll be more furious. So please, don't listen. They can't talk to you, anybody. If they don't say the interim government led by Dr. Sako, don't believe that story. But why don't you just invite him, if it is phone call, or even if it is a Zoom call, hear the truth. Hear the truth. You are a good man. I love your policy towards Africa. In your policy, you will not tolerate laziness. You will not tolerate authoritarianism. That is good. And Ambazonians will practice democracy. Please, let the solution, the resolving of this genocide be part of your legacy. Don't leave the White House without solving this problem. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, dear Ma Dorothy. Thank you. Yes. So well put, and I am most certain that God is going to bless this to ride straight to the heart, the ears, the hearts, the minds of the president and vice president. I'm certain of it. Thank you. Ma Carlette.
In reference to the Bible, what would you consider the power of the masses, and what was Jesus' attitude to the masses?
Okay, thank you for that question. Yes, there are so many references of Jesus's interactions with the masses. The ones that come into my mind was the feeding of the 5,000, and he did this several times. It wasn't only one time. He was preaching for a while, and when he turned, he saw that the people had all gathered to listen to him, and they had been there for hours, and he knew they would be hungry. So he asked the disciples to see what they can do to feed the masses. They found a little boy who had a loaf of bread and 2 fishes, and Jesus used that to feed the masses. And this goes to tell us that his concern was for the people. He always had the people in mind. When he sent his disciples out, he said, go to the people, go preach to the people, go take care of my sheep, go take care of my people. And as a group, you cannot do anything for a group of people and leave the rest. God created us all equal, and he has always told us that everybody, each one of us, are his children. We are all his children. So the God gave us the power as a group, and we cannot we cannot now try to treat people in groups, in small groups, in small segments, because of one reason or the other. We have a power if we are together, if we stretch our hands. And this goes to the definition of a neighbor. Who is my neighbor? In the Bible, it tells of the Good Samaritan who finally took care of the guy who had been beaten by thieves. The two others, the two earlier people who passed by just ignored him, but this Good Samaritan came and took care of the guy, paid his bills, and made sure that he was taken care of. All his medical bills were paid. Now, when we say neighbor, this word neighbors, it stretches beyond borders. It stretches, you cannot say that my neighbor is only the person who lives in America. What of those in Africa? They are your neighbors. They are your neighbors. Your neighbor, the Asians, they are your neighbors. Everybody is, we are all connected. If you stretch your hand, you hold somebody. The next person stretches their hand and holds somebody. So the world is really to be controlled by the masses. That is how we hold together and we make changes. There are a lot of changes that happen in the United States because of mass movements, because people are free. They have the liberty. They practice their freedom by marching, by letting their voices be heard. They talk to their congressmen. They talk to their pastors. They talk to everybody. The power of the masses cannot be undermined. You see, that is why Amazonians are suffering like this, and that is why we had to bring our problems to the rest of the world, because our protests, which have been going on for over 60 years actually, but the climax was in 2016, when women with just leaves and branches, students, lawyers, teachers, the common man, the simple person, the students, children, just carried leaves and branches and were marching. And the response of the government was to kill them, was to shoot them with helicopter gunships. Now, this is where the world came in and noticed that something was really wrong. So we can never underestimate the power of the masses, the power of unity. That is why this movement, Asia, it is very, very important. If you keep talking to leaders of countries, you don't get anywhere. You can talk to the Russian leader Putin over and over again. You don't even know whether he listens. You might send him 100 texts, 1,000 texts. But if you talk to his people, if you talk to the Russians and the Russians know your problem and they join as a mass, they will make their leader listen. So this movement is very, very important. It is very, very important, and it is going to work. It is going to work because that is only when you see action. And I'm really grateful for the internet, because the internet can show you the masses, can show you the voice, can make you hear the voice of the voiceless, can make you hear the roar as my colleague said, Mape said, the roar of the thunder, the roar of the lion. It is all from the voice of the masses. So we can never underestimate our strength as a mass movement, as a group of people. And the people should know that they have this power. They have this power to move, to call for action, and to make their leaders be accountable and take care of them as they should be. That is the only way you get anything done. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, ladies, because every question that we have for you tonight is so critical, wherever you can shave it down, your answers, please do, because I would like to get to all of them. Just a suggestion, okay? All right, Mark Harlett, please proceed. I think we have some kind of delay. Mark Harlett, if she can't hear us, I will ask
We may be having some technical difficulties from our end. Perhaps you want
okay,
to. Yeah.
yes, my patience.
Yes.
Why a journey to the White House, and what message do you want to deliver to the White House?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. When most people hear the word White House, the immediate thought is the residence of the sitting president of the United States of America and his family. But the White House is really more than that. The White House symbolizes the presidency. It symbolizes the government or the administration, and it symbolizes the people. And we already talked about we the people, the power of we the people. So when you put all those three in context, you see how powerful the White House is. It's also important who is in that White House, who is the sitting president. Ma Dorothy mentioned when she was talking about the character of the man in the White House, President Biden. And she mentioned about his policy for Africa. The reason we, the people, this movement, has to go to the White House is because the person sitting in the White House is a people person. He naturally loves people. You've seen him, how he, whenever he goes out during his campaign, how he interacts with the crowd. So we really believe that if he were to get our message, how our people have really suffered for several years. You know, our plight goes way back. You have approximate cause for what is going on, and you have the root cause. We just want that person in the White House and his administration to hear us, to feel the pain that we are going through, to understand that this is a big universe where if one part of the world is hurting, everybody else hurts. And that we need to be given a chance. At a minimum, listen to us. One important thing to remember about the power of the White House is that the principle of the American democracy resides in freedom and self-determination. You know, they fought a war several years ago, They fought the war, their own liberation war. And that's why America is what it is today. So why will another country that was given the right to have its own independence continue to survive or exist as a special status nation underneath another country in the 21st century? Why? Why? So that's why we journey to the White House. And what do we want to tell him when we get to the White House? We want to remind him that, as Ma Dorothy mentioned, the root cause lies with a failed decolonization. The irony is that the president that was in office when we became a so-called Federal Republic of Cameroon was J.F. Kennedy. And he was a pioneer, he was a believer that France should get out of Africa and stop all the colonization of all African countries that France was engaged in. President J.F. Kennedy, right back then, was a strong supporter of independence of African nations. 61 years later, we have President Biden, another strong supporter of people being independent, living to their fullest potential. As Ma Dorothy mentioned, during one of the hearings, Senate hearings, where he talked to the, I think it was during President Reagan's reign, when President Reagan was the president. He was talking about apartheid and defending the Blacks, that they've done everything and now they deserve to be given a chance. So the message we want to tell the president and the vice president and the administration when we get to the White House is simple, that the root cause doesn't tell a lie. The truth doesn't lie. It's there in the United Nations documents, all the resolutions, which I don't want to bore you with. But we also want to tell him that our people are suffering. We want to remind him that we would like for the killing, the raping, the torture of all our people to stop. We would like that all the prisoners that are in Ambazonia and in neighboring French Cameroon be released, that the area be demilitarized, because French Cameroon and France in particular are the ones orchestrating most of the killing, and we are just defending ourselves. And that a fact-finding mission be sent to investigate all the massacres. And they have several graves, mass graves, that are all over the territory. A fact-finding mission organized by the United States should be set up to get information about what is happening and the perpetrators brought to book. And that, most importantly, to put enough pressure so that La République goes to the table and sits with Ambazonia. Our president, Dr. Sako, is at the helm, and have the root causes looked into without any preconditions. That's what we want to take to the White House. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark Patience. Very clearly defined. Thank you very much. Mark, Carlette, I think I will move forward. You're still not accessible, right, Mark? Carlette? No. Okay. So moving on, the question that's for me is, what petitions that drew millions of signatures did monumental things for the causes that were represented? As we enter this battle for the restoration of mankind and country throughout the land, we must get this correct. Uniting the voices of the people is a proven theory. When we unite, we affect change. I will show us only 5 of the multi-million signature petitions that affected change, and simply ask us all to sign the petitions to save lives and stop mass killings across the world. When you hear what I am going to show you, proof perfect that signatures work. Signatures and petitions have changed things that nothing else could have changed those things. Justice for Julius Jones, 6.5 million signatures, because at age 19, Julius Jones was convicted of a crime he did commit and put on death row. For 22 years, he and his family maintained his innocence. A woman named C.C. Jones Davis took on Julius's cause, starting the Julius Jones Coalition and a viral petition which gained celebrity support from Kim Kardashian, Kerry Washington, and Russell Westbrook, who reached out to other celebrities, among others. Just 3 hours before Julius was to be executed, Oklahoma Governor Stitt commuted his sentence. Justice for Elijah McClain, 5.6 million signatures is what just this petition got. 23-year-old Elijah McClain was tragically killed by Aurora County police officers in 2019. Outraged by Elijah's tragic death, activist Soraya Hamidi started a petition that calls for registration and increased public pressure, leading to a historic $15 million settlement this year in the McClain family's civil rights suit. Emergency stimulus checks, 2.9 signatures. In the wake of COVID-19 closures, Stephanie Bonin, a Colorado restaurateur, started a petition calling on Congress to issue recurring $2,000 monthly stimulus checks for struggling American families. While stimulus checks were issued on an emergency basis, Stephanie and her supporters continue to fight the continuing regular checks for the duration of the pandemic, citing the continued economic crisis due to the Omicron variant and inflation. Such a even the audacity to tell the nation to pass out these kinds of checks can't happen without signatures such as this. Juneteenth, a national holiday, 1.6 million signatures. 95-year-old Miss Opal Lee of Fort Worth, Texas, has been fighting for Juneteenth as a national holiday for years. She believes Juneteenth, which commemorates the day that enslaved Black Americans in Texas finally heard that they were free, could be a unifier for a polarized country. Her Change.org petition galvanized national support and prominent celebrity and political endorsements. Ms. Opal was present for the historic moment when President Biden signed the Juneteenth federal holiday into law, the first new holiday since Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 1983. Justice for George Floyd. Last summer, more than 19 million people from all over the world joined together to fight for racial justice after the murder of George Floyd, started by a 15-year-old Kellen Ness. It became the biggest petition and movement in Change.org's history. The petition hit a huge campaign milestone in 2021 when Derek Chauvin was convicted for the murder of George Floyd. 95-year-old Miss Oprah Lee of Fort Worth, Texas, has been fighting for Juneteenth as a national holiday for years because of what she believed. The petition made all the difference in the world. I can go on naming petition after petition that has saved something that was extremely important and brought it into law, brought it to the people, we the people. And because of bringing those signatures to we the people, things that never would have changed. Petitions, a movement such as this works. One more. Free Greg Mingo. Greg Mingo was a 68-year-old man and was given an egregiously long sentence for a crime he did not commit. His niece Ava and sister Yvonne started a petition calling for Governor Cuomo to free Greg, who had supported them for years, even from jail. A coalition of activists, friends, and family members of Greg's, led by Ava's friend Diana Scholl, pushed for his release through phone action, mobile billboards, and advertising. On Governor Cuomo's last day in office, he pardoned Greg, who has been reunited with his family. Greg is now an activist himself. I tell you, us, these examples, these real life examples, to tell you, stop saying that voices won't make a difference. Voice is your voice, our united voice makes a difference. It changes things that seem unchangeable. It takes people out of the darkness and brings them into your light, into the light of your vision, of you being able to see, of us being able to see, and us being able to act on what we see. The petition is not just a written word, a written signature. It is saying just what we are asking us to say. It is saying, stop the mass killings everywhere. And because we, the people, goes past any border, we, the people, join together as one voice, one people. And like my sisters remind you, those whispers of individual people combined and brought together and speak in the same language of that petition, of that movement, of that need. Speak in the same language. It makes a roar like you can't imagine, and everybody moves. Presidents, vice presidents, governors, everybody moves. Because we, the people, is the most powerful force you can imagine. Your signature matters. This is not some waste of time the way some people want to argue. Oh, a signature, yeah, right, a signature gonna stop a gun. Yes, a signature can stop a gun. Yes, signed signatures that are moving forward and becoming a roar will stop whatever it is that needs to be stopped. Injustice is a crime against humanity. And we, the people, can make that stop. Thinking that we can't stop crime, why are we thinking that? Thinking that we can't stop street murders, why are we thinking that? It is an illusion in your own mind, thinking that your voice is not powerful when it's mixed with we the people. We are one voice. We care about people being brutally murdered. We care. Millions and millions and millions of us care. But sitting at home quiet, caring, does not stop the murders. But we, the people, when you speak out with those signatures, when you let the world know that you stand behind that signature, you start to hear it. You start to hear the sound of that roar as it's rising up from the earth, as it's rising up. And when it rises up, fellow people, when it rises up, it changes things. Please stop pretending you don't know that. I could have read till an hour or two showing you different signatures that worked just that way. And without those signatures, none of those things would have happened, because people love to hide their mess and kick stuff under the rug and let you go about your business as long as you are quiet. Then they can do all the horrific stuff that they want to do, because that stuff is viral. It's terrible. People's hearts have grown callous, and we have to speak up to make it stop. We the people, y'all. We the people. Thank you. Marcolette, are you available yet? Okay. All right then. So let's go to the next question for Ma Dorothy. Ma Dorothy, give two instances in the Bible when people power brought about change.
Thank you, Mama Asia. Yeah. The first one is from 1 Samuel chapter 8, when the Israelites who were being led by God, ruled by God. God fought wars. They fought and won wars under God's leadership. But then they turned around and demanded that they wanted a king. I mean, it's like they rebuked God. They wanted a king. They wanted a military. So Prophet Samuel tried to talk to them. No, they were determined. So God said, okay, let them have the king. And they chose King Saul. So the point here is that when the people come together, when they are united for a purpose, that is people's power, and it brings change. So that change in this case was the change from prophets ruling Israelite, God ruling Israelites, to they started being like other nations, because that was their intention. The point here is that when you determine, depending on your motive, so it can people's power can bring positive change, or it can bring a negative change. Now, the second one is the case of Jesus when he was crucified. The Jews, they prefer to let go. They prefer to let go a murderer than for Jesus to be released. So the people ganged up and they said, this is what we want. It was done. So God himself respects self-determination. That is the point I'm trying to make here. God himself respects self-determination. When people are gathered in one spirit, one motive, the authorities, they should respect that. It is in the UN Charter. Everybody is entitled to self-determination. And Ambazonia has exhibited the most, I don't think any nation has ever exhibited self-determination like Ambazonia has done. For any other reason, self-determination, they should grant us our self-determination. They should not deny us self-determination. because the civilians, the defenders, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, and their interim government, they are one. Our president, Dr. Sako, said today that we have everything. Ambazonians are not out of Ambazonia because they're looking for greener pastures. They are running away from war. So give us our nation, correct the mistake that was made, respect self-determination, because God himself respects self-determination. It might hurt him if the determination is against his will, but he will let you have it. If God can respect self-determination, why would the UN not respect self-determination? They cannot deny us self-determination. Thank you, Mama.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, Ma Dorothy. Yes. All right, Ma Emma. Name some petitions that have influenced movements like the movement.
Yes, my Asia, you had quite a catalog, and it will just be empty repetition. So I will just add one or two to what you already said, because I was part, some of those petitions, I was here in the United States, and I saw it live. I was here when the Juneteenth was given to Black America. They finally recognized the day that they felt independent from slavery. They felt that they had finally been freed. And also the lady who was helped by petitions, which was organized by Kim Kardashian. I was also here live, so I know the power of petitions. But one that is right here in my doorstep is the recall system of government. Now, the people here in California, and I think it exists in other states as well, can recall their governor or any state officer who is not performing, or who has done something outrageous, and the people are not happy. All they do is they sign enough petitions and recall him, and he can be removed from office, and a new governor or a new representative will replace him. And this goes to even the lieutenant governors. You see, so the power of petition is very, Americans know the power of petition, and they know how to use it. It's unfortunate, Ma Asia, when you were talking, I just kept shaking my head, because this happens only in the United States of America. I do not know any other country that respects petitions like this and follow through. So we who are here, God has put us here for a purpose. It's going to be petitions. It's going to be petitions, petitions, petitions to get what we want. So this movement is going to succeed. So that is the only petition thing I'm going to add to what you said already. The recall system in California is one of the best examples of that. Thank you.
Yeah, you nailed it. That was a great way to add to those petitions. Thank you very much, Ma Emma Andale. Oh, yes. Ma Patience Abiadu. Has any previous U.S. president or administration resolved deadly conflicts in Africa?
Yes, thank you, Aisha.
Okay.
Before I go briefly into that, since our time is running against us, you want us to be concise.
Yeah.
The U.S. Policy in Africa really revolves around some 5 focal points. They are very interested in health, security, Number 2 is economic growth. Number 3 is the environment or climate sustainability. Number 4 is conflict or peace and security issues. And number 5 is humanitarian rights. So now let's focus on the question that has to do with deadly conflicts. The case in point has to do with President Clinton. I believe he was Clinton was the 42nd president of the United States of America, and he was in office from January 20, 1993. So what happened briefly has to do with the Ethiopian Eritrean war. And this is more the conflict, not the war itself, because the main war, the Eritrean War of Independence, was way back in 1961, just a few months before we got our so-called independence from La République, from Britain. But between 1998 and 2000, there was another war due to the boundary that they have. So that conflict, which happened only for 2 years, really 2 years, but it was so devastating that it resulted into the killing of over 100,000 people, and more than 1/3 of Eritrea's population was displaced. So kind of what we have right now, we have a lot of our population displaced as refugees in other land and staying as IDPs in neighboring La République du Cameroon. So after this, what happened was that the people, both people from both Eritrea and people in Ethiopia, they suffered a lot. There was no longer economic growth in their land, and all investments were frozen. So President Bill Clinton at that time, who again, as I said, was the 42nd president, decided from the very beginning to be instrumental in brokering some sort of settlement, some sort of peace settlement. So what happened was the president had a special envoy that worked with the National Security Council and the State Department and the defense team. And they worked closely with the European Union, with the Organization of Africa Unity, OAU, which is now a African Union, and the United Nations. So these bodies, different bodies, formed some sort of partnership, worked diligently to broker peace, to bring peace in that land. And one could conclude that depending on who is the leadership when there is a conflict in an area, the person in the Oval Office can make it their policy to be more involved in what is going on to bring some sort of resolution. Now, I bring this example to say that we have a war in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Thank God for internet. The pictures are there clearly. The devastation is evident. It was at one time known as the worst humanitarian disaster in the world by the Norwegian refugee. I forgot the name of the gentleman. So why is it that we cannot have a president take charge, because we are counting on that Swiss-led process where La République and Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia will sit on the table. There's another option right there. And that's why this movement is important, that we are going to the White House, because just maybe, as President Clinton was personally dedicated to make sure that something happened to bring change, to end the conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea, just maybe we can be lucky that the United States may decide that, okay, they are pushing for democracy all over the world. We, Southern Cameroons, we believe in democracy. La République doesn't, because look at what has happened. They've had 2 presidents since that country was independent. We have already practiced the change of power. We believe that people come, sit in power, do what they're supposed to do. If they get defeated, another person comes in peacefully. We did that in the late 50s. So I just want to conclude by saying that the Biden administration, a few quotes from President Biden, that the US cannot advance its global foreign policy without partnership with African governments, with institutions in Africa, with the people. And we are that people that are so young. We have talent all over the world. You know, if you take Africa, Southern Cameroonians that are all over the world, they can do mighty for that young country when they go back home, because they are all in all walks of life, all types of institutions. You'll find a Southern Cameroonian, Ambazonian. And they're hardworking, most importantly, and they're honest people, deep core, they're honest people. President Biden also said that what happens in Africa matters to the United States. We may be one small part in Africa. We want to tell you our story, because you know that we matter. And most importantly, he says that Africa will shape the future, and not just the future of the people of Africa, but of the world. So there's this belief that Africa is the next big thing to happen in the world, because of all the resources we have, because of, when I say resources, I mean material resources and people resources. It gives us that power, that people power to go beyond the skies and do great things for the continent and for Southern Cameroons. And finally, President Biden said that democracy doesn't happen by accident. We have to defend it, fight for it, strengthen it, and renew it. And the movement, the power, when you started this show, you talk about we the people. It's all revolves around democracy. Thank you, Asia.
Ooh, lady, yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, my question. All right. Why do I see it as magical when celebrities and leaders of multitudes of people bring we the people together for upright causes? Sometimes when we the people come together to fight for just causes, we are faced with opposition. And sometimes that opposition can be challenging at best. But it is always magical to see the passion and the convictions of a united people at work. I will give about 5 examples that are uniquely different, but that all show the magic of a united voice. The George Floyd movement. The George Floyd protest began in Minneapolis on May 26, 2020, after the killing of bless his heart, George Floyd, rest in peace, an African-American man who was asphyxiated when now former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin pinned him down with a knee on his neck for more than 8 minutes. The protest quickly spread across the nation with hundreds of thousands of people in all 50 states taken to the streets in opposition to Floyd's death, police brutality, and institutional racism at large. As June 3rd, as of June 3rd, the protests have continued nightly. They have continued nightly, resulting in 12 deaths, widespread incidents of police brutality, as well as looting and the deployment of nearly 20,000 National Guard troops in 24 states. That movement brought so much attention to it and made sure that that man was punished for his crime. That so-called police. The Women's March on Washington on January 21st, 2017, the day after Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States. More than 470,000 people marched on Washington in support of women's rights and in opposition to misogynistic statements behavior from Trump. As of May 2020, Trump had been accused of sexual misconduct by at least 25 women. The protests garnered enormous international support, with more than 600 marches planned in the U.S. and 81 other countries on the same day. 81 other countries. Experts estimate that somewhere between 3.2 million and 5.2 million people participated in the marches in the United States alone, easily making the Women's March the largest single-day protest in and out of the U.S. as one. South Africa's National Day of Protest. Nelson Mandela ANC Party organized this anti-apartheid work stoppage in 1950 in retaliation for a new bill effectively allowing the government to investigate any political party or organization. On June 26, hundreds of thousands of South Africans participated in the Stay at Home, a tactic that was used several times in the next decade. June 26 was celebrated as National Freedom Day in South Africa as a result until 1994. The March on Washington. Martin Luther King's historic I Have a Dream speech, I love that speech, was delivered during this August 1963 rally to promote racial equality in the United States. More than 200,000 demonstrators gathered peacefully at the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. And the event is credited with pressuring President John F. Kennedy to draw up firm civil rights legislation. The Berlin Wall protest. The concrete division that had separated East and West Berlin for 28 years came down just 2 months after public protests occurred throughout Germany. Pressure to take down the wall had been growing in 1989, and the demonstrations were the final straw for the East German government, which finally opened the gates on November 9th. Power of the people. Why is it critical? That's enough now, because we want to shave this down. So I just want us to realize, please, viewers, pass the word. This is not some empty thing. The power of the people is radically crazy powerful. It is not. It is not. It's not what leadership and nobody else wants to try to fool us into believing it is. It is powerful. When we take 1,000,000 signatures anywhere, it moves mountains. But wait until we take the millions of signatures. I want you to know these examples I'm giving you, it always turns the tide. Every time. Not a single time does millions of signatures not turn the tide. You got to get that. We got to get it. So thank you. All right. I think still no my Colette. So let's move to my Dorothy. Why do you think petitioning is the best way to end wars, genocide, and mass killings?
I think petitioning is the best way because
Yeah.
it costs nothing.
Excuse
You
me,
just put your signature.
Maisha. I think we've
Yes.
resolved the issue with Marcolette, and she's been perfectly connected for a while.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Mark Carlette back, I think. So we'll go on with Mar Dorothy. Now, thank you, our dear.
Yeah. And I think that because statistics shows that out of 195 countries in the world, 154 have some form of crisis. So that tells us that it is a global problem and we need global action. And the best way is through petitioning. You mentioned a George Floyd case. The petition, that George Floyd movement, it is the Black Lives Matter, the hashtag of that Black Lives Matter. You think that that is the name of the movement? No, it's a hashtag. So I just want to let the viewers know that we too have come up with that hashtag. Time you are making a tweet, please hash global people power. Global people power, because as my Asia said, when you have 1,000,000 signatures, you take it anywhere, things will change. Things will change. Yes. That is, and
Yes, it will.
we are very organized because there are some movements that are spontaneous. This is a well planned, organized movement. So just hashtag global people power, and we'll see how the world will be a better place for all in a short possible time
Ah,
because of people power.
yes. Thank you, Ma Dorothy. Yes, these hashtags are going to fly because people do. They want these changes. Thank you, Ma Dorothy, so much. All right, Mark Carla.
Ma Emma, why do you think celebrities have the power to change?
Okay. Thank you, Marcolette, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, the first thought that comes to mind was when Michael Jackson and a group of celebrities did "We Are the World" to raise funds for Ethiopia for hunger. I think Ethiopia and Somalia for hunger and drought. They had drought, and animals and human beings were dying. And we all know that that song "We Are the World" was one of the first greatest attempts that was made by celebrities to unite and raise funds for a world cause. You know, they raised a lot of funds and everybody participated and appreciated that effort. You know, I think that was when the celebrities started realizing the power that they have. Since then, there have been a lot of other celebrities that have taken different causes worldwide. You know, the musician Bono is one of them, very well known for his humanitarian activities, in Africa and a lot of other countries in the world. Just an even more recent one was when the war in Ukraine broke out a few months ago. A celebrity and who's well known, Ashton Kutcher, and his wife, who is from Ukraine, were able to raise $30 million and send to Ukraine. And so many other celebrities have put things together and brought the world together to raise funds and send for different causes. In another one that comes in mind is Beyonce and her husband. They have a project in Africa where they supply water to villages that do not have potable water. And another celebrity is Akon. Akon, who himself is a celebrity from Africa, has been working in a lot of cities in Africa, bringing light, providing light, which, these are basic things that we do not have, that people do not have, like light, water, schools. There's the reporter on CNN, Lawrence O'Donnell, who provides desks for school children. Desks for school children. You can imagine, Ambazonia needs every of those things that I have said, because one of, for instance, 500 villages have been destroyed by La Republique. So we are going to have to do everything, to start everything from scratch. Water, light, roads, we have nothing. And this is where celebrities have the power, they have the might, and they have they have the organization to carry out these projects worldwide. That is why you see we keep coming and mentioning celebrities, and a lot of them have the goodwill to give back to the people. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Isn't that amazing, my Emma, that this means that all throughout the world, am I right, my Emma, this can be solved everywhere with those simple steps. I mean, how many celebrities do we have across the world? How many? It's just uncountable.
Yes,
Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. My Emma,
that
if
is right.
all of them would just
Yes,
do one thing like that, my Emma, would it not stop it all? Would it not end it? Tell me it wouldn't end it. It would end it,
it
my
will
Emma. It would
definitely
bring
end it.
peace. It would bring peace to the streets in America. It would stop. That's where
That's right.
gun violence and stuff stops at. People acting like this is
Yes.
out of our control, my Emma. It is not
Mm-hmm.
out of our
Mm-hmm.
control.
No, it is not. It is not.
No, it is
We have
not.
the people. We have the people. They have the power. They have the organization. They have the goodwill. All they need to
Yes,
do is be
ma'am.
told, yes. Let them know what is happening.
Yes,
Let them know.
yes. Raise our voices. Ain't that something? I'm talking about there ain't nothing else you need to do. When I realized that, it's like crazy. No guns. Guns ain't gonna do it. If all of the world picked up guns, all it would do is kill most of the world. Guns won't
Yeah,
do it. Won't none of that do it, my Emma. Money won't do it. Money just produces more greed. Money won't do it. What will do it is the united voices of the people, as we have are proving here tonight. Yes. Okay. Moncarlet, please.
My patience, with regards to the ongoing war in the southern Cameroons, what can you tell us about the two presidents that have occupied the White House for the past 5 years since the war broke?
Thank you, Margaret. So the war broke in Southern Commons, Ambazonia, on the 30th of November, 2017. Previous to that, in 2016, the teachers and lawyers had the strike actions demanding simple changes, and unfortunately, their requests were not listened to. They were arrested, some beaten up, I think some even killed. The president in the White House in 2017 was President Trump. And you know what was happening at that time? We had internet cutoff. So for a while, they really didn't know what was going on. All those terrible images that we later on saw, how our people were really maltreated and ill-treated. Those were not seen in social media as should have been the case. President Trump, at that time, we understand that he was somebody who didn't really care much about immigrants. It was a time in the United States when he was really against immigration, and I think at one time a group of, I was part of them, we wrote a petition, and this is about what we're talking about, the power of petitions, the power of the people coming together to ask for certain things. And the petition was simply for President Trump to make African leaders responsible and listen to their people and govern with character, with care for the people, and stop the marginalization, which was what we're calling at that time, that we're being marginalized. And those were just proximate reasons for the problem. We're looking at what was just superficial, and so people were thinking more of marginalization. Nobody really thought deep down about the root cause, which had to do with the fact that we were not properly decolonized. So President Trump really didn't show much overtly the distaste for President Biya. Although there were some, I think the United Nations had one of the meetings, and I think President Trump's address at that time was more against one of the Eastern European leaders in terms of how they treated their women and how they treated their people. And we thought that he was talking about Biya of La République. However, President Trump did, in any case, ban La République from the AGOA, the African Growth Business, and also through his administration, there were some military benefits that La République used to have. They were taken away. Military training, military wares, they were taken away from La République to come on, all as a result of what the humanitarian crisis that had evolved from the war. Fast forward to 2021, when President Biden took over, things were already on the way for that resolution 684. So that credit probably goes to the Trump administration, because it was finally passed in January 2021 when President Biden came into office. So we're saying that as far as our 5-year, almost 6-year span of war, these two presidents have done different things during their reign, and President Biden is still there now, and TPS, Total Protected Services for Southern Commons has passed, is in effect, which gives Southern Commonians 18 months to stay in this country if they qualify. However, this movement that we have now is something that we are pushing forward to get more than just what has happened so far. We demand more so that this genocide that is really, really ravaging our land. I mean, we've lost so much, and those are our sons and our daughters. Those are our kids, if we think about it, that have perished. We want an end to it. And we're hoping that this message that we are going to the White House, President Biden, who is the president in office right now, in the thick and thin of things, can do something for our people. The cries of mothers should be heard. The one important role of the United States is that they like to promote peace and stability in Africa. But even the former Thibault Nash, as Assistant Secretary of State, has already mentioned time and time again that La Republique cannot win this militarily, and that finally everything has to end at the negotiation table. But then this movement, we the people, going to the White House with millions and millions of people joining us, can make that change even faster than La Republique can even do anything about it, and will not be able to do anything about it. Thank you, Maisha, for that question, or Ma Khaled for that question.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I want to expound on that a little bit, but I also want to just tell our viewers how strong this team of women are all the way across the board. It's 10 of us, the core, plus me, so 11 of us in the core, and powerful women like you have never met. And to prove this to you, my dear mom, Patience, is here with a tremendous headache and migraine-like headache, and I just want her to be able to say goodnight to you all and to ask our production if he will please do whatever you do in your magic to cut her camera off and let her go and tend to herself, if that's okay. My Patience, you are incredible, because who would know that you're hurting like that? So can you say goodnight to our viewers?
Thank you so much, Ma Aisha. Thank you, Ma Khaled. And thank you, my sisters, Ma Dorothy, Ma Emma, always. Thank you, viewers. We the people, we are going to the White House. We'll bring that change. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Good night.
All right, my Carlette, I'm ready for my question, my last question.
Okay.
Ma
Why is
Asia,
it critical now?
before your question, it's in there. Ma
Uh-oh.
Asia, yeah. Can I say
Uh-huh.
something before you take your last question, please? I just wanted
Yes,
to
yes,
add
dear.
I just wanted to add to the question why President Sarko needs to go to the White House to talk to Joe Biden. It's just one sentence, and if President Biden wants to know the truth of the situation that is happening in southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, he needs to talk with the victim. And for now, President Sako is representing the victim. All the fact-finding missions they have sent so far have ended up only in La Republique. They never went to the war-torn areas. They never spoke to the victims. So you see, one of the reasons why President Sako needs to get to the White House is to talk to President Biden one-on-one as a victim of, he represents his people. He is going to paint the real picture of what is happening in Amazonia, because they can never get it from the person who is killing us. How do you go to ask the murderer what is going on? You need to talk to the victim. So I just thought I should add that as one of the major reasons why President Sako needs to go to the White House and speak face to face with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you, Ma Asia.
Please bring me back on. I have to say, ma'am, yes, you hit that right on the nail. That nail right on the head. Yes, ma'am. How you gonna ask the murderer the conditions and what, how you gonna ask the murderer?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ma
Yeah.
Emma. Yes, thank you for that addition. All right. Ma Carlette, please proceed. Awesome, awesome time together, ladies.
Asia, why is it critical now that the leader of the interim government of Amazonia and the leaders of the United States come together to brainstorm and how to end the war and resist?
Okay. It is critical because of the genocide going on now in the southern Cameroons, the Federal Republic of Amazonia. Here are a few facts to give our viewers who may not know of the devastations in this country. I had to search wide to find facts that are not so graphic because as I read this truth to you, know that it is far worse than what I'm sharing here. Yet, this that I will share with you will give you enough of a picture of the injustices going on in Amazonia in our civilized world. As rebel groups combat the clampdown on the people that the media is trying to label as Anglophones, these people are not Anglophones. They are citizens, Amazonians, activists, civilians are being caught in the crossfire with reports of many killed and tens of thousands forced from their homes. An hour and a half's drive from Bamenda and in Cameroon's northwest in Belo, a village largely abandoned except for a military checkpoint manned by drunken soldiers. Hear me now. Here is one journalist's report on what he witnessed. In the middle of the road is a burnt motorcycle. A little further on, a corpse is sprawled. Someone has tried to cover it with a few handfuls of grass. Two girls pass by with bags on their heads filled with dried fish. We barely have any food. That's why we came back to collect the fish, they said. They explained that the corpse belongs to a villager. There are many more bodies, they add. The soldiers burned part of the village. Belo is on the front line of the Cameroon simmering conflict between so-called Anglophones and Francophones. An increasingly successionalist struggle that has pitted the French-speaking government in Yaoundé against the recently emerged so-called Anglophone Amazonia Defense Forces, thank you, Jesus, and other rebel groups. According to the UN, the fighting has forced an estimated 20,000 Cameroonians to flee to Nigeria. Many more
1 million.
people are forced from their homes remain in the country. On the main road outside Belo, groups of people are moving laden with possessions, whole families leaving everything they have and carrying with them only what they can carry. Boy, what do I believe the people will do once their own country is retrieved from thieves? I believe this that I'm about to tell you because I now know the citizenry of Amazonia on a first name basis. In other words, they have become my friends. I wanted to know on the ground people who were going through this hell. And not only did God let me get to know them by name, let me get to know them from the ground, but he made me see how beautiful they are, how warm, how giving, how friendly. They have become my friends. So I know their character and I know their love for God and humanity. So this is what I know will happen once they are restored. I believe we will see rising up from the southern Cameroons a country whose land is rich and fertile with commerce growing beyond description, with love, color, and dance will be what the country radiates up close and from a distance. I see their borders welcoming the refugees everywhere because that's how they are. I'm telling you, that's how they are. With warmth and kindness. Where are we seeing people of color at the borders of any country trying to get in except the, the countries in Africa that treats them with respect and dignity? Do you know what I've seen, people, as I examine the borders of our country and the differences? And when people meet up at the borders trying to find asylum because people are murdering them, how one race that's white is treated against the other races that are black. It's atrocious, people. Please hear me when I tell you that.
Mhm.
So, with this, I see lush landscapes with remarkable resorts everywhere. I see a God and godly wisdom at city gates of this country to greet all who go there. I see a jubilee as no one has ever witnessed, and I want to be there, y'all. I want to be there to celebrate with the masses. What a day that will be.
Mhm.
That's what I see the people doing when their homes and governments are returned to the natural citizen of this beautiful country. Do you know why I am powerful in the United States? Do you know why I am powerful in the United States? Because my feet came out of my mother's womb in the United States. And you can't take that from me. No matter how you don't like me, no matter what it is you think of me, you can't do nothing with that. I am a natural citizen of the United States of America. These people are natural citizens of Amazonia, of this part of Africa. It's atrocious what's happening, and it's remarkable what will happen when their country is restored to them. That's what I see. So thank you, Mark Carlette. Please move forward so we can end the show pretty soon.
Okay. Now, Dorothy, this movement is grassroots based. Why start with the big guys, mega churches, leaders, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and etc.?
Thank you so much. Mama Asia, before I answer my question, let me say something about the report that you just read. That report is from Human Rights Watch. Those figures are so conservative. There are more than 20,000 refugees in Nigeria. There are about almost 800,000 of them. And in that report, they said that 6,000 killed. I know you didn't say that, but it is in that report. I know that report. And then they're talking of Ambazonia Defense Forces. And you said, thank God, that is not the forces that are defending Ambazonia. That is why I am saying that the president of Ambazonia, the one that can speak raw truth to President Biden, needs to have access. Ambazonia Defense Forces is a proxy of La République du Cameroon's forces. They use the ADF to infiltrate and kill our fighters. The defense force, we call ourselves restoration because we are restoring what the United Nations, they gave us, they voted for us to be independent. So we are restoring that independence. We call them Ambazonia Restoration Forces. And more than 45,000 people have been killed. So that Human Rights Watch, the report is not accurate. That is why it's so important for Dr. Sako. That is the only person that is representing the majority of Ambazonians. Any other name, any other group, it's not speaking for Ambazonian. Now let me go to my question. Why do we
Yeah,
start with the
but first, I'm sorry. I know you're going to your question, but I want to say to you that's why I'm so glad I'm on the ground with you guys because, please, yes. See, I'm getting it right there from the ground. So I hear you as it comes to me, and it's foul and it's wrong. Thank you for
yeah,
correcting and bringing the truth. We need the
yeah,
truth.
that
Thank
is,
you so much.
yeah, that's anybody who has interest to help us needs to speak to the people. Because France and La
Yes,
République du Cameroon, you cannot beat their mafia. You cannot beat their corrupt and manipulate. You cannot beat it. You cannot beat them. So there is no office anywhere in the world that there is no La
yes,
République agent there or Francophone agent there to put a block so that our case should not be heard. Hear from the horse's
yes.
mouth,
Thank you.
President Biden. Invite Dr. Sako there, you know the raw truth. Yeah. Now let me go
Okay.
to my question.
Yes.
Why
And
it
production,
is a
can you bring her on full and take me off? Thank you.
it is a grassroots movement. But why are we going after the big guys? It is because
Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of following. Some of them have over 100 million people. That is like shortcut to success. If they can buy our
Mm-hmm.
story, if they can buy our story, endorse it, all their followers will endorse. Because celebrities, they are famous people. Their followers are always anxious to listen to them. So when they speak, they
Mm-hmm.
bring that huge crowd. And that will make our journey shorter. I just said that almost 80% of the world is in crisis, some form of crisis. And then in the United Nations, the United Nations Department of Economy and Social Affairs, which is the think tank of the United Nations, they are saying that the problems of the world are increasing, not because they don't know the solutions, it's because they are telling the powers that be, giving them the solutions, but they lack the will to implement them.
Mm-hmm.
If they lack the will to implement, and then we, the people, who don't rise up, it means we're heading for the world is heading for doom. So why we target the celebrities, the big guys, because we know that they have followers. I mean, we'll reach that 1 million just like this. If we have 3 celebrities just endorse a musician takes does a concert for Ambazonia case, you will see that we'll reach 3 million in a week compared
Mm-hmm.
to us going knocking doors. So that is why it does not cancel the fact that it is grassroots, because these followers of the celebrities, they're the common people. So it is still grassroots, but we want to be very efficient, very effective, and in time. Time is of the essence for the world. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ma Emma, Mark Carlette, are you ready for the final question of the night?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Emma, get the president of Amazonia with President Biden, US of A, to bring an end to the war genocide to southern Cameroons and Amazonia.
Could you take that again? I didn't get the question.
Why do you think it is important to get the president of Amazonia to meet with President US of to bring an end to the war genocide to southern Cameroons and Amazonia?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Yes, as I mentioned earlier when I rudely interrupted Ma Asia, the two presidents need to meet because it will be President Biden speaking to the victims of Amazonia, because President Sako is representing the victims. He is the one who knows whether the prisoners are fed or not. Because La République does not feed our prisoners who are being held in those dungeons. The prisoners have to be fed either by their relatives or by the Ambazonian government. We send food to the prisoners. We feed the refugees, because what do the refugees get? And Marcalet, we have at least 1 million refugees in Nigeria alone. I have not added Ghana and other West African countries. These refugees get 1,000 naira a month or 2,000 naira a month each. How much is 2,000 naira? It's like $10 a month. So it is President Sako who knows whether these refugees eat or not. They call him all the time. Those who are sick and have to go to the hospital, they don't have any money, and they have to come up with money before the doctors can even look at them. Our refugees are in dire stress. They are in dire need. So it is only President Sako who can take these cases, because we have pictures, we have videos. He is the one who can take these cases directly to President Biden. They have to meet face to face so that he gets the truth. Yeah, and a lot of these truths have been blocked. A lot of you cannot imagine, Marcalet, what we are going through, what this Ambazonian struggle is going through just to get our messages out. The La République government and France, they do everything to stop our message, to stop our truth from going out to the rest of the world. They've been doing it for so many years. That is why people never heard of the word Ambazonia. People never knew of a country a country like Southern Cameroons, but now they know, thanks to internet and thanks to Dr. Sako, the interim government and the people of Ambazonia, for their tenacity, for their determination, and for their will to get their independence. So and we know for sure that it is only President Biden. America voted for our independence. La République voted against our independence way back in 1961 because they were already part of the United Nations. It is America that will come in now to solve this problem, because first of all, Britain did not complete the independence. They were supposed to give Southern Cameroon the independence. They did not. They handed this country to France and La République, the same people who did not want us to have the independence. So you see, America can also be a broker, as Mape has said. They can broker peace. Since La République is dragging its feet from going to the Swiss negotiation table, which has been approved by Canada, Britain, America, and so many of the even Germany has approved the Swiss process. But La République, backed by France, is dragging its feet and still killing Ambazonians. So, President Joe Biden, he has a heart and he knows what to do, and he has the power to do it. Let us end this genocide before they kill all my people. Right now, it is our determination that they have not been able to kill. That is what is sustaining us. Please, let us stop this genocide. And President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, We, the people of Amazonia, are looking up to you. Thank you.
Oh, yes, God, yes. Okay, and that summarizes our show tonight. Everyone, please say goodnight, if you will. Take about 30 seconds to say goodnight to our viewers. And Marcolette will pray us out of the show. Thank you, everyone who were patient with our platform having its disturbances earlier, and you guys waited. I know you did. I feel your presence, and we are so grateful to you, our viewers. We are falling in love with you because you are right here with us, and we really appreciate you for that. Everyone, would you like to say goodnight to our viewers and each other?
Yeah.
Mark,
I want
Dorothy,
to
yeah.
appreciate I want to appreciate our viewers. I hope that they have learned in this episode that the people power is even more effective, saves time, saves life than politicians. And with the statistics, we see that the world is going down. So I'm encouraging and begging our viewers that come on board, sign the petition, use the hashtag global people power. Let us make the world a better place because it's the people power
Yeah.
that will make this world a better place. Thank you. It was a pleasure, Mama Asia, a pleasure, Ma Emma and Ma Khaled, to be on the same platform. I say good night to everybody.
All right.
Good night.
My Emma.
Yes, I just want to thank our viewers and thank you for your patience in listening to us. And we, the people of the world, can stop what is happening. We, the people of France, can tell President Macron to stop the genocide in Cameroon because he can do it. We, the people of the
Yes.
United States, can talk to President Biden to help stop the genocide in Amazonia. The people of the world, the people of Canada, the British people, the people of the whole world, come to our rescue. Stop the genocide. Stop the killing. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Ma Emma. Marcolette, will you say goodnight to our viewers and pray us out of the show, please?
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being with us again, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Father God, in Jesus' name, we just thank you for this time. Thank you for what you're allowing us to do, God. Thank you for hearing our cries, God. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this platform that we can speak and cry loud and let the people know that they need to help their neighbors. They love you and they love their neighbor as well. That means the people that need them to help the most. So we thank you for that and ask that as we leave this show, we don't leave your presence, but you bless us, bless our families, and bless those in Amazonia that are hurting, God, and all over the nation, that there can be restoration, there can be health, there can be peace, and Lord God, once for all, there can be peace in the land for everyone, and the killings, the mass murders, and the genocide will stop. We thank you for this. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
By Spirit, I'm marching on to greater heights. By His Spirit, by His Word. Oh yeah.
We thank the crew. Thank the
By His
crew.
Word.
Beautiful music.
Oh
Yeah, we
yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Seasons
Thank you, crew.
come
Thank
and
you.
seasons
Thank you,
go.
crew. Yes.
Whatever it is, I got victory. I'm a champion. I'm a winner. By by His Spirit that lives in me. For with me, all things are possible. By His Spirit, by His word. Oh, I'm moving on to greater heights by His Spirit. And I'm marching on to greater heights by His Spirit, by His word. Oh yeah, by His word. Oh yeah. Not moved by what I see, no, 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 no. All things are possible with God in me, in me. And I'm moving on to greater heights by His Spirit. And